Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about one of my favorite housewives from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and that would be Dolores Catania. Because not only is she opening up about beating up one of Frank's exes, what? Why am I not surprised by that? But apparently her new man, Paul Connell, is setting some boundaries when it comes to Frank. She's also letting us know how lonely she felt with Dr. David. So thanks to Reality Blur, well, we're going to cover it all. And before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like Dolores shared a few things on Jeff Lewis's radio show earlier this week. I mean, she even covered a little bit about Ramona leaking Teresa and Louis' wedding invitation, which at this point I'm so sick of talking about, but if it's in here, we'll just mention what Dolores's reaction was. Before chatting about the boundaries that her boyfriend, Paul Connell, put into place amid her closeness to ex-husband Frank Catania and looking back on her past relationship with her ex-boyfriend, the Real Housewives of New Jersey cast member revealed what happened after the Real Housewives of New York City alum shockingly shared details of Teresa's big day. Teresa had to send out new invites, and this is what she said on Jeff Lewis Live. I don't know what she changed on them. I didn't see mine yet. I don't know what's being changed, but the information had to be changed on there, whatever it was. Again, I've said this 500 times. Send Ramona the bill for the new invites. I'm sure she won't, but I would. I would send her the bill for the new invites, and then her invite would get lost in the mail. According to Dolores, Teresa and Louis are still planning to get married at the Park Chateau estate in East Brunswick, New Jersey, although it's unclear if the date and time of August 6th at 6:30 p.m., if those details have been altered. They came in a cake box filled with fresh flowers and a big invitation. I mean, there was so much thought into this. Okay. As for her own relationship, Dolores said when it comes to her dynamic with Frank and Paul, okay, because she does have a very interesting, unique dynamic with her ex-husband, Frank. We see it on the show. Not all of us understand it. And sometimes it does come off a little bizarre, but who are we to judge? She revealed that Paul is also divorced and has a friendship with his ex and made it clear that he's willing to tolerate. But what choice do you have? She has a close relationship with Frank. I'm sure Paul can set some boundaries, but it's Dolores. Dolores isn't going to let a new man come into her life and be like, you know what? I really think, this could work. We could be in a situationship, a relationship, and potentially an engagement. Maybe I'll even make you my wife one day, but you got to axe Frank's ass. He can't be a part of the situation. He's got to go. I don't think Dolores would tolerate that. Just saying. He just thought, I want to get to know you and establish a relationship with you and forget about all of the other stuff outside of you and us. And this is how she's explaining this, noting that because she was single for so long, even in her last relationship, she didn't think of boundaries. And he nipped it in the bud. He's like, no, that will, cause trouble. If you want a different type of future, you have to change what you have now. Oh, now Kim D, in our exclusive interview, she did say that she feels like Paul is a great guy. She calls him Paulie. She's like, Paulie's a great guy. Is he a little, protective and also kind of territorial? Yeah, but he's a great guy. I think that if Dolores wants this to, work out and still have a relationship with Frank, then Frank can't have a relationship with Dr. David. That's what Kim D said. Is it true? I don't know, but that's what she said. Now, while changing their habits doesn't mean that Dolores couldn't be friendly with Frank, it did mean that they would have to change how they live and travel. There were 2 beds in Nashville in that room, and I threw one out because I was ready. I had just met Paul, and I just didn't want whoever I was going to be with next, I didn't want them to think that I was that close with Frank because most people wouldn't do that. Although Dolores was ready for a change of lifestyle, which she said was so overdue, she did note that it was hard to change her ways. I could see that. Everything that Paul has done in my life, maybe I wasn't comfortable and I thought that it was, okay, but he was right. He was right about it all. I hope though, like when it comes to Dolores, she's such a strong woman. I hope that she's not conforming to whatever Paul wants. And then this is like a controlling, like manipulative way. And it starts here. And then there's another thing. And then there's another thing. Like I get where Paul's coming from. And I understand. I think that this would be really hard to have a relationship with someone who's so close with their ex. I think it would take a very confident person. I don't know if I would necessarily be that person. But also keep an eye on this, right? I don't know. I think so. Looking back at her dynamic with David, Dolores confessed to being lonely while stating that it seems that she is a priority for Paul. Kim D also said that Paul wants to be around Dolores all the time and that they're always together. I was so lonely with David and I did everything alone, but I was kind of used to that in my life. I haven't been married in 23 years. I was okay. I'd walk into an event with 1,000 people by myself. And now I have Paul who's like, oh, wait, you have a doctor's appointment? I'll take you. And I've never had that. The first thing that he said to me, which I was dying on the floor, he walked into my house that was not done and it was a mess. And he said, if I'm going to be in your life, you have to let me help you. As fans of the Real Housewives of New Jersey well know, Dolores and Frank are in a good place today, but when it comes to their past, infidelity on Frank's part led them to split when Dolores was 28 and pregnant with their youngest child, son, Frank Catania Jr. I met Frank when I was 18. I was waitressing with, my mother, and he had just graduated from law school. I was waiting his table. And while many felt that the two hooked up after their divorce, Dolores has insisted that that is not the case. Never again, that person that he was, to be died. My dad's, an old school Marine cop, Italian guy. He's like, light a candle for him. He's dead. That man I was married to died. So he was never that guy to me again. And that's in my mindset. It's something that stuck. Also, during an interview, Dolores said that when it came to her messy split from Frank years ago, she took a lot of her anger out on Frank's other woman. I didn't want to regret never doing that. So after I had Frankie, I went to her house and she made the mistake of getting out of her car. She didn't press charges. She wasn't injured enough. I mean, she wasn't in the hospital or anything. So it was okay. I just got it out of my system. So she's pretty much just like, I went over there and I whooped ass. Dolores also noted that it was 1,000%, that Frank, who broke up their home, and noted that the two of them got into a few matches. Let's call it matches. He'll tell you no one has ever hit him as hard as I did, and he lost more than, she did, talking about her. Maybe she had a few cuts and bruises, but he lost a lot more. Is she talking about blood? Or is he talking about blood or talking about the family? I don't know. Okay, guys, I want to hear what your opinions are on this. It looks like Dolores went to pound town on Frank's ex, and she said she had to get her anger out. So I'm curious, and the woman never pressed charges, so we can kind of put this to bed, but it just goes to show you when we watched on the last season where Jackie Goldschneider felt confident enough to get right up in Dolores's face, maybe she's not the one. But I don't want to just talk about this article and talk about everything that Dolores is saying without asking what you guys think. So go ahead. Do you think that it's fair that Paul wants to set boundaries with Dolores's relationship with Frank? And are you shocked that Dolores went to pound town on Frank's ex? I'm guessing this was the other woman. All right. On your way out, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Love you.